Welcome to Manifest with Melanie, the podcast that helps you activate your manifestation superpower and build the soul-aligned life and business you're meant for. I'm your host, Melanie Mishler, equal parts woo-woo, neuroscience, and strategy. And each week, I share proven tools and raw talk to help you step into your full potential life. Are you ready? Let's go. Hello, love, and welcome back. Today is actually the 50th episode of the podcast. I can't believe how quickly time's gone by because I've been at this for a little over a year now, coming to you weekly. Yes, I've missed some weeks because, well, life just keeps lifing. But overall, I really love spending this time with you. I love coming to you every week and talking about what I think is the most important thing in the world, which is stepping into our personal power and becoming the deliberate creator of our own lives. And this morning, I was interviewed for the Abundant Mom Summit. It's an online summit that's happening from May 6th through 13th. And one of the things we were talking about was exploring the difference between masculine versus feminine manifesting. And what I mean by that is goal setting and hustling to reach what you want versus aligning your energy and your identity to magnetically attract it. And here's the truth. Both paths will get you where you want to go. You can hustle and grind your way to the goal. That's the masculine approach, and it works. But it usually leaves us exhausted, disconnected, and it's just not as fun. The other path, the one that I teach through neurosomatic manifesting, is a more feminine approach. It's getting crystal clear on what you want and then aligning our beliefs, your energy, and your identity to match that so that it flows to you rather than needing to be forced. It's not about doing more. It's not about taking more action. It's about really becoming more attuned and more aligned and more alive. So today I want to talk about what it actually looks like to follow that path of least resistance, because I got a real life lesson on this last week and I thought it would be valuable to share with you. There's this saying that a smart man learns from his lessons. A wise man learns from the lessons of others. And I think you can learn a lot from the pain points that I lived last week, honestly. So anyway, I took a road trip from Northern California down to LA to visit my family. And I had planned this ahead of time, but what I didn't realize was that I had planned it over Easter weekend. And where I live in this tiny little town in Northern California, we don't ever get any traffic. I'm not used to driving in it. And quite honestly, it's not my favorite thing. So I was a little apprehensive of going down to LA during the holiday weekend, but I got in my car and everything was going fine. I was cruising along smoothly until I got to around Los Angeles area. And suddenly my GPS starts telling me to exit onto the side streets. But of course, I ignored her because I knew where I was going. I've driven to my mom's house in Los Angeles 100 times before. I was on the right highway. I knew where I was going and traffic was flowing. So I didn't see any reason why she was rerouting me. It didn't make sense to me. So I ignored her. And then, of course, she told me again and again. Friend, 3 separate times she told me get off the highway, and 3 separate times I completely ignored her. In fact, I actually told her to shut up and I turned the audio off in my car so that I could no longer hear her. And a couple of seconds after I did that, I turned a corner and then hit complete gridlock. I went from 80 miles an hour to a complete stop. And there I sat in my car for over 30 minutes. Dead stop, just trying to go 1 single mile to get to the next exit. It was painful. And I love this lesson because what I didn't remember at the time was that my GPS, she has a bird's eye view. She always knows where I am in relation to where I want to go. And she was trying to reroute me to the path of least resistance around the traffic. But to me, it didn't look faster. It didn't make any logical sense. Yet it was actually the most aligned path. And love, the law of nature is that everything follows the path of least resistance. I want you to think about a river, for instance. It doesn't push through boulders. It flows around. It finds the lowest point and it just kind of carves out its path over time. It adapts, it moves forward, and it's always progressing, but it doesn't actually push. Birds are the same way, right? They ride the wind instead of flapping against it. And plants do the same thing. They push up through the dirt, through the path of least resistance. That's because nature, it doesn't hustle, it attunes. But we humans, man, we fight this law tooth and nail. We will override it with control, with fear, ego, logic, because very often we think that resistance makes us strong, but often it just keeps us stuck. And your inner guidance is kind of like that river, or it's like your GPS. It knows the most natural, effortless way forward, but here's the thing. It can only guide you if you're willing to listen. And our intuition will whisper, it'll nudge, it'll urge us to take a different path, but our mind just overrides it. It says like, nope, I've got this. I know the route. I know better. And we ignore the signs and override the wisdom. And like me on the freeway, we end up stuck, frustrated, blocked, just kind of spinning our wheels. And here's what I always love about the GPS metaphor. Honestly, I think it's the best metaphor available for explaining our intuition and our inner guidance. So that's why you hear me talk about it all the time. Because what I love about the GPS is when I didn't listen to her 3 times and I ended up in that jam, she didn't judge me. She didn't say, I told you so. She didn't shut down. She didn't say, well, you're not listening, so just find your own way. All she did is she just recalculated. She re-guided me. She rerouted me gently, quietly, without any fucking drama. She didn't create any drama around it. She just kept guiding me to my destination over and over again. And that's exactly what our inner guidance does. It doesn't punish us for missing the signs. It doesn't shame us into alignment. It just reroutes us. And friend, here's the thing. As much as I got that message when I was in traffic, and I did get it. In fact, it was a full aha moment. I literally took out my phone and I started recording audio notes for this episode. I got it on one level, but I didn't fully apply it. Because when I got home from that trip, I ignored my inner GPS yet again. And here's what happened. If you've been following along, you probably know that Andy and I have a lot going on right now. We're in a really exciting, but a really intense season of our life because we're busy building the boutique cabana resort in Belize. We're closing out one business. We're preparing to kind of flip-flop our lives so that we're living more in Belize than in California. And there's just a lot on our plates right now. So when I got back from that trip, life just kind of hit me hard. Our stress was high, tensions were higher, and Andy and I ended up in one of those arguments where both of our worst selves showed up and came out to play. I was reactive, I was defensive, I was just totally spinning in my own tornado of a storm. And the truth is, I could feel it before it was happening, and I could feel it as it was happening. I knew in my body, I knew in my senses that I was off center, but I didn't stop. I didn't pause. I didn't take a breath. I just kept charging forward, completely disconnected from that part of me that knew better. And what happened was the next day I woke up in a full-blown shame hangover. Have you ever had one of those? They fucking suck. And I'm not telling you this to air my dirty laundry or to throw myself or Andy under the bus. I'm sharing this because I want you to understand something really, really important. I want you to understand that what happened inside my body, that anxiety, the tightness, the anger, the fear, even the shame, those weren't just emotions. They were my inner guidance, my inner GPS trying to guide me, trying to nudge me. It was letting me know that I was off course, that I was out of my power. I was out of my alignment, but I didn't listen. And instead of recalibrating, I doubled down and I tried to force things to happen until it all blew up in my face. And the truth is, I'm human. This shit happens. You're human. We all are. Being human means that sometimes we forget, sometimes we override our instincts, or we push through when we should pause. And when this happens, it doesn't mean that we failed. Like the shame sandwich is totally unnecessary. All it means is that we're in the process. This work about coming into alignment, it's not about never messing up again. It's not about reaching some perfect version of attunement or alignment where everything is just 24/7 perfect and you never have conflict or stress or friction in your life again. Because honestly, that place does not exist. But what does exist is the ability to notice it sooner. The ability to tune in and listen to our body's signals, to listen to our inner guidance, and the ability to come back faster, to build a life and business that's rooted in who you actually are, so that even when you wobble, even when you feel off center or you feel like things aren't happening or the stress is high, you have the ability and you know how to realign yourself. And that includes when you have drifted from your vision. Because whatever vision we have for our life, whether that's building a soul-aligned business where you're making the impact that you desire, or having freedom and ease and purpose, whatever it is, it's a feeling universe. And this is about feeling our way into that version of ourselves. And then once we are attuned with it, then we call it towards us easily, magnetically. So love, if you have had a similar experience to me, if you have found yourself spinning off in the weeds, spinning in self-doubt, if you feel like things maybe they're harder than they should be, I want you to know this. You're not behind. It's not too late. Definitely not broken. And you do not have to eat that shame sandwich. Trust me, it tastes like shit and it doesn't do anything except for kind of keep us spiraling. I want you to know that your internal guidance is still on. It's 100% available to you all the time. And we kind of feel our way there with our bodies. The question is, are you willing to pause and listen? Because no matter how stuck you get in traffic, no matter how off balance or how off center you are, it's always available there to you. It's always going to be leading you right back to your center. All right, love, if this resonated with you at all, I would love for you to join me for my free masterclass. It's coming up this Sunday called Aligned Identity Shift. And this is really where we're doing the deep work of reconnecting with your vision, of centering into alignment, of stepping into that full potential version of yourself. Because life isn't about hustling or overriding our guidance system. It's about becoming the kind of woman who naturally attracts what she wants because she's aligned and embodied and clear on who she is. It's about being able to recalibrate when we're in stress and when we feel disconnected, because we don't have to do it the masculine way. We don't have to keep pushing our way through. There's another way. And your GPS, your internal guidance, it knows how to get you there so that you can stop forcing and you can start flowing. All right, love, you can head over to manifestwithmelanie.com to register, grab a friend. It's going to be really powerful 2 days. There's an extra bonus day where I'm going to be doing live coaching and questions and answers. And I would love to see you there. Until next week, stay in your power and keep manifesting an epic life. Hi, friend. Real quick, before we start today's episode, I'd love to invite you to my free upcoming masterclass, Aligned Identity Shift. It's happening May 4th and 5th with a bonus day on May 6th. And this is all about stepping into your full potential self, into your full potential identity so that you can magnetically attract anything that you desire. I really hope you'll join me. Grab a friend, and you can get the link in show notes or on my website, manifestwithmelanie.com. Hope to see you there.